Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Random Crafty Acts, or welcome to Random Crafty Acts. If this happens to be your first time, my name is Barb, and I'm a card maker. And I am in the midst of a series in which I'm working on putting together a big project. So in the previous video, I will put the link below, I went through my big project checklist, and we are at the point where we are going to start doing the backgrounds that are referred to in this step. You can, if you didn't see the first video where I do the introduction, and you would like to do that, the description and the link will be in the description below. Okay, so what I'm working with at this point is creating this and this. And basically by this, I mean these backgrounds. This is on watercolor paper. I have a whole bunch of watercolor paper that I bought at some point. As I say frequently in my videos, my first hobby when I retired was buying craft supplies, and I bought everything and I tried everything, and I found very early on that there were some things that I obviously really didn't need to buy because I had no idea what I was doing. Those went into storage, let's call it, and by being in storage, that means in nice neat boxes shoved on a shelf, sometimes even labeled. And of late, I've been going back through those things to see if maybe 5 years later, I might be a little more interested in what I was doing. Okay, so the watercolor paper, all right, and we're going to do a green, maybe 2 greens, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on the time. And we're going to do a yellow. This card looks like this because the theme for these Happy Summer cards is floral. And I'm using pictures from our wonderful garden, which the daylilies are blooming right now. And I'm waiting for, there's a specific place I always take a picture, and I'm waiting probably one more day for the flowers around the image that I want in it, for the flowers to all be in bloom. So that picture will go there, okay? All right, so let's just kind of jump in here. Working with watercolor paper can go 2 ways. Let me get my squirt bottle. Okay, so we're going to start with the messiest part. The messiest part for me is the part where we actually do the water. And in a previous video, this really didn't go very well. And that was more because, let's see, we're going to work with the yellows. Right, this is, that was more because I was having an unbelievable amount of trouble with my brushes. They keep like shedding. And that's because if you notice just how lovely they look here, when I bought these 5 years ago, I had no clue what I was doing. So I had no idea whether I was buying good brushes or not good brushes or brushes that would hold up. And so I just keep digging back in my stock. And I think that maybe this one, since it's got this nice plastic on it, might be a better brush. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Okay, so I did the yellow in watercolor. So that's what I'm going to do here. Now there's 2 ways to do this, and we're going to try it both ways. Okay, so this way is you wet the cardstock first. All right, and get your handy paper towel. All right, and you dab some of the water off. Okay, let's set that one aside so it doesn't bleed over. And the first thing you notice is that the paper will warp. And we can go ahead and try it again today. These are watercolor paints, and yesterday I could not for the life of me get this one open. And it appears that today is the same. I'm going to pause the video and try something. My She Shed Studio is in the same building as my husband's tool shop. So it comes in really handy if I need a tool that I don't have. And that sure did make a mess. And that doesn't look good. I don't know that this is going to work well. Nope, this tube of paint is okay. I know I always say we don't throw things away, but sometimes they've just like passed. They've just passed the point. All right, I don't have any other yellow, so we will work with these. All right, again, this is this right here is a cheap set. I don't even remember where I got it. All right, so I'm going to try these two yellows here, and the reason I'm not doing that one is it's already got some green on it, and I don't want green, I want yellow. Okay, so this is the light yellow, and I'm going to put it in the middle. The paper has already dried out. And the thing about working with watercolors is the water. I mean, you just keep the area moist, and the paint will spread. Since I'm running it's summer, so I'm running the air conditioner, so of course the room keeps drying out, which means that anything I'm working on dries very quickly. So I keep mentioning that, I started all of this. See, they're shedding. I started all of this 5 years ago, and that was when I retired. And I'd always been really attracted to artsy things. I just felt like I really didn't have any talent. I was really more of a writer than I was a crafter. But I needed something to do with my hands, and I had some friends who were into all this kinds of stuff, paints, and I tried doing some things digital, and one of the things we discovered very quickly, they were so kind. They were so kind. I want to make sure I'm totally in frame here. Yes. All right. And we discovered that I can't draw. I mean, I tried, man. I tried and tried, and nothing worked. And so, I had, like a lot of people, I had the idea, well, if I can't draw, I can do things that are abstract. But, I gained an increasing respect for abstract art, and realized that it is art. It's not just squiggles on paper. And once you come to understand that, it just gave me a deeper appreciation. And the other part of that we discovered at the same time was that I'm really not good at judging colors, which still shows up in my work from time to time. And that's why I did pattern paper. Okay, let's start with, I also like the outside to be a little darker so it looks kind of like a frame, and then to kind of bleed the colors and the colors back in. And then, since I've got the dark around the dark across it, and that gives it kind of a mottled look in through there. You can see how the watercolor paper creates some texture. Okay, and we rinse our brush. We did not do a green watercolor. previous time, so because I did the ink blending with that. So let's go ahead and try a green one just to, where are my greens? Here's my light green. So in this one, I did not wet the paper, and my watercolor pad is very dry, so I'm getting a lot of water versus color. And I tend to go slanted, mostly because I'm really not very good at doing straight lines. Okay. This is a really, really, really pale green on here. And considering the green on the focal point, let's see if I can. Let's try that one. That looks like a bright green. These greens look like they have a little bit of blue in them. Okay. Ooh, that's not necessarily the color I was going for, so we'll use the paper towel on that and see what we can do. Not liking that. Just go for it. Let's see. The advantage is if this doesn't work for the cards in question, then I just put the backgrounds in a stack, and at another time when I'm making cards, I can pull them out and use them. I don't know if this is going to work very well for the project in mind, but we'll give it a shot here. Okay, and so again, we've got kind of a pattern that comes up. Okay, I'm going to set those aside. I'm just going to grab another one of these that's dry. I buy these at the Dollar Tree for $1.25, and that way I can work on them like this with inks, and if they get too nasty, if I can't get them clean, I usually use alcohol to clean them. If I can't get them clean, I just throw them out. I don't feel bad about doing that. I haven't been able to come up with any other secondary use for them. Okay, so I've got a yellow and a green brush. I was just checking to make sure I remembered to restart the video. Okay, so in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to ink blend. And we're going to ink blend a yellow, and we're going to ink blend a green. All right, and a couple of things about ink blending that end up being important. One, you should always start with your light color and then move to your darker color. The other thing about ink blending is if your inks start to get too dry, you can buy bottles of re-inking. These are particularly archival inks. And the other thing is archival inks by Ranger are considered to be waterproof, which means if we try to, let's say if we decide we're going to, for one of our backgrounds, we're going to use a stencil and put black on top of this, it won't mess with the green underneath. Okay, and the other thing is you want to start off and work on okay. There are lots of different kinds of brushes you can buy. These have worked pretty well with me. They clean up, they stain, but they do clean well. I use Dawn dishwashing detergent, which I have found is a great cleaner. I mean, it works to. If you have inked your oval brush and you bring it down on the paper, like set it, you'll get these, like you'll get ovals, which maybe you want that. I usually don't. Okay, all right, so I've got that in the middle. The leaf green is very bright. I worked with this yesterday. I'm not cleaning my brush in between. So what I'm doing is kind of trying in my a very amateur way to create kind of a framing effect around here where there's some light and dark, and that will hopefully show up the way it did in the other one. Okay, and then this is a peeled paint. That was leaf green. The other one was a vivid chartreuse. And again, these are inks that I purchased back when I started, when I was buying everything. And okay, and so on this point, so they're getting kind of dry, and I haven't decided about restocking them yet. I really got into card making because card making worked for me, and I could donate my cards, and that meant I could make a lot of them. In getting into that, I bought a whole lot of pattern paper, like lots, like enough to make cards from now until whenever. And I do donate up to 2,000 cards a year. You can check out Operation Gratitude, and you'll see the wonderful things they do and why I was so excited to find them as a donation source. But there are some things, I mean, I could do inks with those, but I also am mass making. Okay, so on this, we'll end up reaching over here into my card kit that I've put together. See, this will go in the middle, and the Happy Summer will go on the sides, and this will all go on the black background. Okay, so we're going to set this green up here. Okay, and now we're going to ink blend a yellow, and I had trouble. I thought I had more yellows. So this is Archival ink. This is their chrome yellow, and then these are Tailored Expressions. These are a new ink for me. It's my understanding they are waterproof. Okay, I'm gonna work with the same approach. This appears to be the lightest of the colors, so I'm gonna put these around the outside. Again, that feels like it's got a little bit of brown in it. Maybe down in the brush more than anything. There are lots and lots and lots of different brands of ink out there, and pretty much everybody I've talked to, you find one that seems to do what you want it to do when you want it to do it, and it's in your price range. It's the same thing with paint, watercolor paint. At the time I was experimenting with a lot of this, I wasn't into, I didn't get into watercolors. I kind of had a tendency to try to work with acrylics. So I don't have a lot of watercolor paint, and I have one more of those plastic pads that has sparkly stuff in it. And then I have one that has very basic just like very primary colors, like the paint set that you would have gotten when you were in first grade. And as I worked with them, again, there came a point where the next level up, which is what I was looking at, the price range really went up, and I could tell they were quality, and they were really, had I been moving that direction, they would have been very much worth it to me to do that. It's just I was moving off in another direction at that point. Okay, so we have the dark. Okay, I'm getting the dark edge that I want. I like the way the darkened edges work against the thin black mat that goes around the back of this. But keep in mind, you don't have to have that secondary mat. This is perfectly well and good. Okay, that's my air conditioner kicking on. I'm going to flip this over. This won't show. I want to see if this is the... Yeah, I don't really think we need that. Okay. All right. So we have a watercolor and an ink blended yellow that we'll be able to use as we're putting these together. Okay. All right, and then I'm waiting on a picture that will work there, probably tomorrow. Okay. And the sentiment will go in there. And again, I'm planning on putting these on this really thin, so that you get this thin border, and it really makes everything in the center pop, especially if you're using a mat around your sentiment. Okay. Yeah, that really brings that out. Okay, so we have that. And then we have the green. And the ink blended, I really like the way that came out. This is a little different. I've got blue popping up in this, and when I did this in experimenting, I didn't do a green in the watercolor. I don't know that I like that very much, but again, if I choose not to use it for this part of the project, I can use it for something else. And it's got an interesting, this might be a good one to put a stencil on. The other thing about working with the watercolor paper is it kind of it's not warped, it's reacting to the moisture and what you put on it. And so if that becomes a problem, you can put it down between two things like this and just put something on top of it, and it'll flatten out. Okay? All right. That brings us to the construction point, which I have got where we start putting this together in these two cards over here that we're going to be putting together, and that's the next video. So this is... if I've timed it right, this is a very short video, and we will come back and work on that in the next one. So watch for the next video. If you are not subscribed, it would be very helpful for me and for Operation Gratitude if you would subscribe, so that it would push this out there to other people who are looking for card making options. All you have to do is click on the title of the channel and hit the subscribe button, and click on the thumbs up, which also helps work with the ever infamous algorithm. And if you have a question, you can put it in the comments below, and I check those, and I will respond to it. It does not cost you anything to subscribe or to comment or to give me a thumbs up. And if you click on the channel name, you can go over onto the center of my channel, and you'll be able to see the different the different playlists and the different things I'm doing with the videos. Doing the videos was the next step beyond card making, and I'm really having a good time with it. So I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope you'll check back with us. Thank you.